Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream, and today is a very special day. I have some very unique rare items that exist in less than 10 as far as I know. First of all is the Goodwin Champions book, and this book you had to get it by redeeming coupons and sending in some money back in 1887, 1888. There are less than 10 of these books known to exist, and most of them have been, lost or torn apart, or the pages have been ripped out of it. Because as you see, each one has an awesome lithograph page of various athletes. The Champion series is just like the Allen and Ginter, but it's much more rarer. It's the N162 Goodwin Champions from 1888. And there are less than half, actually there's probably a third or less of the Goodwin Champions as compared to the Allen and Ginters. So even as rare as the Goodwin Champions cards are, the Champions book, it's much rarer. And even rarer than that are the coupons, which are the coupons that were used to get this book and other books. They had a round book, and I'm going to show you the coupon first, and then I'm going to show you the book. First of all, this is one of the coupons. Now this one, as you can see, is graded a PSA 5, which is the highest graded example. Over my years of collecting, I've had actually 4 of these coupons, and I submitted it to PSA. Initially, PSA would not grade it because they didn't know what they were, but after I sent them all this information, they ended up grading them. And I kept the 2 best ones, and I sold the rest. So I have a 5, which is the highest graded example, and I have a 4, which is the second highest graded example. This one's a 5, and really it's really nice, but it's not centered properly. That's why I kept the 4. And I'll show you the 4. This is the 4. So you can see that one is beautifully centered. I actually think it's better than the 5. So it says there, 50 of our certificates to secure the Champions album. As you can see that right in the front. And this is the Champion album. And then 50 certificates to get a Flower album and a few other albums. The biggest one was a 75, which was the baseball album, and that's a round album that is very rare. The reason these are very hard to come by is, if you can see, there is an expiration date, and it says that the books will be ready by July 15 of 89, I think it's 88, 89. You can see that, 1888. You had to turn this coupon back in. In the back, I'll show you again what it looks like. See if I can get a good look at that. It's very hard to see. There it is. It says, on receipt of any of these or 20 of any certificates previously issued, you will receive in the back. This is when you return certificates. It says on there, write plainly your full address, and so on. So you would save these certificates, and when you had enough of them, you would send it to them, and they would return you an album. See, our albums return. You would send it to that address, Goodwin and Company, Foot Grand Street, ER, New York. And you can see what it looks like. So those are the 2 coupons that I have. One's graded a 5, one's graded a 4, and they are the highest graded examples that exist. And we put them out here so you can Keep a good eye on them, the front and the back. So these were the cards that the Goodwin champions came in the cigarette packs. And this is an Anson, Cap Anson, a 4, beautifully centered. One of the top, it's the top card of the set, this one and the Kelly. And I have the entire set, and I'll be showing that in future videos. And this is the back. The back, it shows you all the players. Get a better look at it on a better quality card, which is another Hall of Famer, Tim Keefe. And this one is graded an 8. This is the highest graded example of this card that exists. And there are 2 8s. There are no 9s, actually. There are no 9s at all in any of the Goodwin cards. No Goodwin card has been graded a 9. Of course, they're from 1888. So this is an 8. And I've seen the other 8 that exist. And I can tell you this is the nicest one. So this is the best example of the Tim Keefe 1888 card in existence. And I'll show you the back. Nice look at the back. The back has all of the players and stuff there. So this is the 1888 Goodwin champions. That's the Tim Keefe card. Take a good look at it. That's graded an 8. Beautiful clean card. And there's the Camp Anson. 1888. So I'll leave those there. And we'll get to the main attraction here, which is the actual book, which is the rarest thing here. So this is what the book looks like. And I put on my gloves because this is, of course, made of paper, cardboard from the 1800s. So I don't want to put even my fingerprints on it because it will damage this book. So that's why I've got these gloves. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the pages, and I'll show you, first of all, let me show you the back. The back has a little bit of chips on it, but again, it's a 1888 book, and you can see the printing on that, the King Kelly, Dunlop, the Glasscock, and there's the Tim Keefe, and that's the card that I just showed here. It's the same size as the book. Can't tell, but these cards are actually the same size, but they are in this book. Some of these books actually were cut, so you'll find these cards cut out of this book, but the backs are blank. So when you cut it out, the backs are blank, or the back will have the old judge, Gypsy Queen logo on the back. So let me show you the rest of the book. The front has a beautiful playing field. This is all done in chromolitho, which was hand done at that time. Each color had to be put on one at a time, and it was a hand process. It was done with limestone blocks, or limestone stone, and they carved the images out of that. So it was a lot different than today. Today, they use plates. So here's the first page. Oops, sorry, that's not the first page. So this book is very, very delicate. Very, very careful here. So this is the first page. It has the Anson, Carruthers, Andrews, and Brothers. I'll give you a good look at what that looks like. The old judge, Gypsy Queen. And these are the baseball. First page of the baseball players. Beautiful artwork. Beautiful picture. I showed you the Cap Anson earlier. There's the card in the book, and there's the actual card. So these are actual like cards in there, but the difference is that it doesn't have the border and it doesn't have the old judge on the bottom, which is that part there, old judge gypsy queen. So that's the first page. Moving on to the second page. Here you have the, these are oarsmen. Again, this is the, this book contains the top 50 athletes back in 1888. And all different type of sports. So there's the oarsmen. You know, it's really hard to get a good look at that artwork and how it's done until you see it in person. It just pops, just stands out for something that old. So let me move on to the next page. Be extremely careful here. Here comes the billiard players. See how some of this page can get unglued very easily. So this is the billiards page. And here we go. That's what it looks like. And a beautiful, beautiful book. All hand done. And it was a all hand stitched on here. This is the tennis. And this has the top tennis players at the time. Sears, Bakeman, Dwight, and Taylor. And you could see the actual tennis field. Dwight was the top player at the time. This guy right here, it's a top player. And here is the lithograph of the field, of the actual, you see the tennis rackets, the fans, and they played on the lawn. It was lawn tennis, it was not on the court. Here comes the next page. And this is a very, very unique page because this has a little bit of everything on here. First of all, it has Beecher. Beecher is the first football card ever made, and it came out in this set. And Beecher was the captain of the Yale football team. It also has Captain Bogardars, which was a marksman, and a high jumper, a runner, and a broad swordsman, Duncan Ross. And that card is a beautiful card with a lot of color on it. So let me give you a good look at these. There's the Beecher, first football card. And there's the rest. Look at the color on that beautiful card. The colors on the whole book. So moving on to the next page. Again, this has all of the cards in the set. Now comes the boxers. And these are all the top boxers in the day. You got Jack Dempsey there. Got John L. Sullivan, Mitchell, Kilrain, Jim Smith, all of the top boxers. Again, John L. Sullivan was the champion at the time. And Jack Dempsey also was, this is a different Jack Dempsey than the one from the 30s, but he was also a big time boxer. So let me show you the Sullivan and the rest of them. Mitchell, Kilrain, there's the Dempsey, Jim Smith. Look at the artwork, is beautiful. Moving on to the next page is the jockeys. Make sure I got the page. You can see the pages they are card stock. So it looks like it's almost as thick as a card, but not quite. So here comes the next one. These are the jockeys. And this was the first black jockey, Isaac Murphy, McLaughlin, Snapper Garrison, and Charles Wood. I'll tell you a little more about the story of these jockeys when I show you my entire N162 set, the Goodwin Champion set, and the individual cards. But Snapper Garrison was basically this guy here. He was racist against this guy. And during races, he would hit him and he would try to kick him and things like that. But Murphy was one of the top jockeys at the time. and won the Kentucky Derby and many other famous races back then. And all of these two were the main competitors, the top guys. And look at the lithograph of the horse, the saddle. It's just nice. You can see how they ran the track back then. There's the horse track, dirt. So that's the jockeys. Moving on to the next page. It has a few different things. It has the Oro. The Oro is the pool champion. He was from Cuba. We also have the strongest man in the world, Emil Voss. Then a couple of top wrestlers, Joe Acton and Muldoon. And of course, the main one here on this page is Buffalo Bill. Buffalo Bill was one of the top shooters at those times, and he was the champion, I guess, marksman, or it says on here was the champion of the Wild West. I'll give you a good look at that. Champion of the Wild West Hunters, Buffalo Bill. So he was, all these guys were, of course, still alive at the time. But you can see here's the strongest man, Emil Voss. Definitely was strong. I'll show you that card in the top grade, which is a 7, in a future video. So here we go to the next page. And we got the chess players and the pedestrians. And a great story on these pedestrians. People think, oh, pedestrian, what is it, a walker? But these guys were actually super, super top athletes. And they would walk for days nonstop, barely sleeping. They would sleep in a cot. They would walk around. And it was just, I'll talk to you more about that when I get to these cards and I talk about the individual guys. But these guys were tough. This guy, Roel here, was a tough, tough dude. He walked for days and I don't know how many hundreds of miles. They were bleeding from the feet and everything, but they kept going. So these were the top pedestrians. It was a big sport back in those days. And here are the top chess players. Suckertort, Steinitz. These were the top chess players. You can see the chessboard there. So again, these are top athletes. I don't know if chess were athletes, but in those days they were, he was actually the champions, Goodwin champions. So they were some of the top champions. And here comes the bicyclists. So this one is a really nice picture because these are the top cyclists at the time. And again, they didn't have motorcycles. There's no cars or anything like that. So they had bicycles in those days were just a big wheel in the front and a small wheel in the back, and you had to balance and they would fall down, and it was crazy. But here's a look at what the race looked like. Lithograph of the races. Look at the bicycle, what they look like. Look at this guy sitting on top of that bike. And here's a bike in the background here. There's Prince. So I'll show you some of these cards. Again, when I show you the rest of the complete N162 set. I got this one here in an 8, got that one in a 7, and I've got the highest graded Goodwin Champions set, PSA registry. And I'm going to show you that in another video. It's going to take a long video on that one. There's 50 cards, but this is the last page of the book. You can see the last page has the Old Judge, Gypsy Queen, and then the back. So again, a very rare book. There's only about 10 of these that exist. And wanted to make sure that you guys got a chance to see this if you had never seen this book before. But it's a beautifully, beautifully created lithograph book. So that's the Goodwin Champion book with all 50 cards in the set. And you got it by sending in these. And it says it on there, 50 of these to get a Champion album back in 1888. And that's what you would get, a Champion album. So I want to thank everybody for looking at my Goodwin Champions cards, coupons, and the album. Please like, subscribe, and everything else you gotta do so I can get some more views. I've got less than 10 subscribers at this time. I think I've done like 9 videos, so maybe 1 subscriber per video. But main thing for me is to show you guys some rare cards that you've never seen before, and hope that you learn something from these. So thank you very much. Have a great day.